Remember Stanley, the guy that we built up as the sweet love interest that we all need to root for? Guess what? He was the bad guy in book 1, but that shit doesn't matter because in book 2, he's got the bigger dick. You gotta want more in life.
My book ripped.
You got a foot long.
I tried to fix my hair for the thumbnail. I'm not retaking the thumbnail. It's just gonna look like that. I tried to fix my hair for the thumbnail to try to make it look different. And guess what? You're just gonna get whatever it was beforehand because I'm not restacking them. I didn't want to move this so that they fell, and somehow, one of the books ripped one of the others. This is an awful start to the video. Hey everyone, it's me again, Brittany, and I'm here today with a extremely ambitious and probably unlikely December TBR. You're gonna see. There are 13 books on this TBR, and you know, 13 sounds pretty reasonable. Oh my gosh, 13 is my favorite number. That wasn't on purpose, but that's exciting. So there are 13 books on this TBR, and it's mostly just like a, oh my god, it's the end of the year and I haven't read all the books that I wanted to read TBR. Almost none of these, actually not a single one of these, that's a lie. Almost none of these books are holiday themed. I just don't own a lot of holiday themed books. I feel like holiday themed books, how many times am I gonna say that, are normally contemporaries, and since I don't normally read contemporaries, I just don't own a lot of them. So if you want to help me out, please leave some down below of your favorite holiday-esque books. They can be contemporary, they can be fantasy, they can be whatever, as long as you feel it really fits with the holiday season. I do kind of want to read some more holiday themed books. There we go. I'm not saying it again, I swear. So yeah, I have 13 books to share with you today. I'm definitely going to just dive in, or else we're gonna be here for a million years and no one wants that. These books are so large. And I probably left it in, but I dropped them during the thumbnail. It was traumatizing. We're gonna talk more about that when it comes to the book that I destroyed. All right. Let's go in. So the first book that I'm talking about isn't actually the one that I want to read this month, but I don't own a physical copy of the one that I want to read this month, so. And that's gonna be Sword of Destiny by Andrzej Sapkowski. I always butcher his name, so my bad. This is Blood of Elves, which one of you guys gifted me, and I'm so freaking excited to get to. And because I want to get to it so quickly, I just want to get through the short story collection that comes right before this. I already read the first short story collection that starts off the Geralt of Rivia, The Witcher saga, and there is one more short story collection right before this one, and I just want to listen to it on audio. I had a great experience listening to that on audio, and then as soon as I'm done with that, I can likely get started with this one, which will be great because I do want to read the first book before the Netflix series comes out, so I kind of have to get on that as quickly as possible. And if you haven't been watching any of the trailers, The Witcher is basically this mutated human who hunts monsters. He isn't exactly loved by the world, but he's definitely a necessity to the world. He's undergone mutations of several varieties just to be able to hunt down monsters and slay them, but it follows way more than just him killing monsters. It kind of follows his valor and his heart and maybe a little bit of a love story along the way. This is a really great world. It's jam-packed with fantasy elements. It's so amazing, and I really love the video game, which is what got me started on this series, but the series itself has not let me down quite yet, so I feel like it's just gonna be just as good. This next one is one of the only ones that I can honestly say is holiday themed, and that's gonna be Conceal, Don't Feel by Jen Kalanita. This is one of those A Twisted Tale books that follows villains that Disney releases. They're basically like a twist on the regular villain story that we've already seen in the Disney movies. I actually did get this for a paid promotion, but this right here is not a paid promotion. I actually really do want to get to reading this, mostly because Frozen 2 just came out and I'm really in the Frozen 2 vibes. I have not watched it yet and it's really affecting the rest of my life. My bullet journal this month is Frozen themed. Go check that out if you haven't already. And now I want to read the book that's Frozen themed, and then maybe I'll finally get to the movie that's Frozen themed. But basically the tagline with this is, what if Anna and Elsa never knew each other? So it's gonna be very intriguing. I feel like Elsa isn't gonna really be painted that much as a villain, which is gonna be cool because I love Elsa, so I'd be kind of sad if she was a true villain. Well, villain stories are great actually, so who knows. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the one that I hurt. Winterwood by Shea Earnshaw. So I'm really sad about this. If you watched me unbox this in my recent reading vlog, it was the Owl Crate book of the month, and I was absolutely in love with this cover. I think they really did a lovely change from changing the background from black to white. They did the sprayed edges all nice and blue, and then I'm pretty sure the normal cover has this as well, where it's just, you know, embossed. But do you see that? I hurt her so bad. And the dust jacket. It's like, it's all the way through. I just have to be really careful with her now. I'm really sad. I don't know how, but this one fell perfectly with one of the other books, and the other book like landed in between this and then just sliced down. Thumbnails are dangerous. I've already kind of talked about what this is about. I honestly don't have a very good memory of it. I just remember thinking like this is gonna be a really cool winter read, and it has just such a beautiful winter aesthetic that I wanted to pick it up for my December TBR. This is giving me like a mix of Strange Grace vibes and Hazelwood vibes. So it says, oh, actually it's also giving me the Near Witch vibes. So it says, the Walker women of Furhaven have always lived in the woods. Some say the first Walker woman came from the forest, her bones built of roots and thorns as she sprouted up from the ground. This is where the legacy began, a strange and mythical legacy rooted in rumors and folklore. Yeah, this is actually definitely giving me Near Witch vibes, and I adored Near Witch, so I'm definitely excited to pick this up and treat it a little better. So wish me luck on the treating it better part, while also on liking it. You know. The next one on this TBR is kind of a random one, but it's one that I was so excited about that I'm surprised I never got to it, and that's Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. I know this has now gotten a few mixed reviews. I know that there are problematic aspects of it, and it's gonna be interesting definitely to see them play out and see if I catch on to them, how I catch on to them, how I feel about them. I know for some people it completely turned them off. Other people have acknowledged that it's problematic but still loved the story. So I'm kind of hoping I lean towards that side because I'm pretty excited. Serpent and Dove has to do with a witch and a witch hunter that have to get married. And I know that there are some smutty scenes in this, that it gets pretty rated R, and I'm kind of here for it. We don't really see enough rated R ever since Sarah J Maas ended Throne of Glass. So yeah, I'm excited to see if it'll give me any like trashy vibes. I'm not expecting an insanely amazing story. I feel like for the most part it's gonna be pretty cool to see the church aspects that I believe the witch hunters are kind of based off of, and it's gonna be really cool to see the witch herself and how that's dealt with. I know she's kind of running away from a past, and that's how she's forced into this marriage, or how she has to end up marrying this dude. And I just feel like it's going to be a pretty cool read, but mostly, I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of here for the smut, so yeah. I mean, it's not the best reason to be excited about a book, but it's a reason. So I never realized it had this kind of cover art. This is the Fairy Loot edition, if you guys were wondering why the edges looked like that. It's stunning. It's stunning. I have not been giving very good synopses of these books. As always, I do leave them actually down below for you guys to click on a link if you do want to purchase them or if you do want to know more about them. So definitely check those out if you aren't catching on to enough of the story. I honestly didn't know much about the first few books that I was talking about, and I kind of just want to jump through this video, that way it's concise and we all can just know what I want to read this month as fast as possible. The next one on this list is going to be House of Salt and Sorrow by Erin A. Craig. This is another book that I was actually really excited about when I first got in my Owl Crate, and I just never picked up. I believe that it's a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Oh yeah, it says it right here on the back. An eerie, lovely 12 Dancing Princesses retelling, full of ghosts and gods and a fascinating waterfront world, and I'm reading it from behind my fingers. Interesting. So I don't know right off the top of my head what the 12 Dancing Princesses story is. It kind of gave me Nutcracker vibes for a split second. I know that they're not the same. They might be the same. I don't know anything actually. So if I'm gonna be honest, 12 Dancing Princesses just sounded pretty holiday-esque, and I know that I wanted to read House of Salt and Sorrow when it first came out. I know it's pretty dark and grim, and it mostly follows this one girl who her sisters have mysteriously started to go missing, and the only connection is that they were all going to these secret balls in the the middle of the night, and our main character decides that she's going to check out to see what's going on, and she ends up going to one of these balls. So I know that it's really dark and twisty and eerie, so that's not exactly a holiday theme, but I'm pretty excited. Look at those end papers. I'm pretty excited to still pick this up. I just feel like it's going to be a really fast read, and it's probably going to capture my attention right off the bat, so I'm excited, and I hope you guys are too. My battery was charging the entire time, and it's 11 minutes into the video and it's flashing the low battery sign. So who needs a new battery? Me. So these next few books I feel like are not going to be very surprising to maybe some of you guys that have been paying close attention to my videos, but I wanted to mention them because these are definitely books that I want to finish by the end of this year. So the first one is going to be What I Lost by Alexandra Ballard. I was extremely excited when I first got this book. I remember hearing Emma Books talk about it, and I thought that it was just going to be such a hard-hitting and informative story. It has to do with Elizabeth, who is recovering from an eating disorder. She, I believe, recently went to a facility, and this is kind of her after that process has happened, and showing that it's not like a quick fix type of situation. This is something that is going to be with her for a while, if not forever, and I just know that it's going to be a very fascinating read. I love hard-hitting contemporaries. I love stories that delve deeper into mental illness and into mental health in general. So I feel like it's going to be very captivating, and again, maybe not the best holiday read, but apparently none of these are, so... And next I want to get to Wind Witch by Susan Dennard. I know, I'm surprised I didn't read this either, because I absolutely adored Truth Witch when I read it earlier this year. I really didn't have high hopes for the series, if I'm gonna be quite honest. I don't know why. I bought this a long time ago on Book Outlet, and maybe it's because I kept seeing them on Book Outlet that I got this weird idea in my head that I wasn't going to like it, but I adored it. It's actually such an interesting tale. The magic system in this world is so fascinating. It has so many layers, and there's so much thought that was put into it. You can just tell. We mostly are following Safia and Isolde, who are thread sisters. They both have their own kind of thread magic. We have Isolde, who is an actual thread witch, meaning she can kind of see the threads of other people and tell what kinds of powers they have. And then we have Safia, who is a truth witch, and she can tell when people are lying. So it's kind of their story and them trying to protect Safia since her magic is very sought after. We run into a mysterious and gloomy and dark prince who kind of has to save the day even though he really doesn't want to, and it's just so refreshing. I really love seeing Safia and Isolde's friendship, and I can't wait to see how it grows in this one. I just really feel like the relationships are done so well in Susan Dennard's books, and the last book already came out this year, so I feel like I don't know why I waited. I really don't. Oof, this one's hefty. I truthfully do not know if I'll be able to finish it this month, but yeah. Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. She's thick, she's beautiful, and she's here to try and get read, but I truthfully do not know almost anything about this book. I have very purposefully kept it that way. I've avoided watching any kind of reviews on it. The only thing that I've really seen is just if people say they like it or not. I know that there are a ton of people that I truly trust that absolutely adored this book. I know others who have said that it's a little too slow for them. I'm excited though. This is going to be such a crazy fantasy world, and it's just going to take me on a ride. I know it will, because all I really know about it is that there are dragons, there are dragon riders, and there are lesbians or some type of LGBTQ relationship, or maybe not a relationship, but maybe just representation. I honestly don't know. I know that this falls into the LGBTQ representation category. I just don't know how exactly it's going to play out. So I'm excited to see that, and I love dragons. I love seeing anything about dragons in books, so I just hope that this fills that void, and hopefully I'm really captivated by it because it's humongous. It's huge-mongous, and you really need to be captivated if you're gonna read a giant book. And I also want to get to The Savior's Champion by Jenna. Someone told me I butchered her name the last time I said it, so I went back to her videos and I tried to find somewhere that she said her last name, and I can't really remember, so I pronounced it Morrissey. I know it's not that. I think it's Morrissey or I think it's Morassi, but I'm not 100% sure, so if I'm butchering her name, I'm sorry. I really did try to go find a video that she said her last name in, and it was difficult because she is an author tuber. I started this book last year. I got 100 pages into it. I put it down for no good reason, and I never picked it back up. So I 100% wanted to get to it this year. I just don't like leaving books unfinished, and this has a lot of elements that I do think I would like. It has a very gladiator-themed setting. It has a challenge, perhaps to the death, for the hand of one true empress, and it has some steamy scenes. I don't know why I put it down. I'm telling you, I know that the beginning was pretty slow for me at least, but I also know that I was getting to a part where everything was about to speed up, and I'm excited that I did kind of leave off on that part because now I'm going to be able to pick it up right as it picks up. So yeah, and a lot of you guys have really been begging me to finish this because you say that it's absolutely incredible and it's just, it deserves to be finished, so. And the last one of this little category, which if you couldn't already tell, this is actually the last books on my most anticipated reads of 2019 video, and that's going to be Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin. Yeah, another thick one. Another 800 plus page novel that's heavy, heavy fantasy. I don't know what I'm thinking either, guys. Luckily, I am 200 pages into it, so I have at least a little bit of a chunk of the way through, and I know that I'm going to enjoy it, but I am kind of nervous because I know that season 2 of Game of Thrones was probably my least, well, not my least favorite because the last season, least favorite, but this was one of the more boring ones, the least memorable ones for sure. So I'm definitely going to be trekking my way through this, but I do want and hope to finish it this year because I was hoping to read a lot more of these books this year of the Game of Thrones series. I definitely feel like I lost traction once I watched the last season of Game of Thrones and hated it. I didn't hate it. I appreciate that they put it out, but I don't appreciate almost anything else. So yeah, I lost traction after that, but I know that the books are not the TV show. The books aren't even finished, so we have hope, at least. I'm not really gonna explain what Game of Thrones is about. I'm just not. I feel like it's very self-explanatory. It's just a Game of Thrones, and it's fantasy. There are dragons. I said I wasn't gonna explain it, but you know, here I am. And these next few books were ones that I actually wanted to read in November and didn't get to, but I have good reasons, so let's get into those reasons. The first one is Chamber of Secrets. This is the second book in the Harry Potter series, if you were not aware. I was gonna read this last month. I was gonna read this actually for the Newts that was being hosted by G over at Book Roast, and I just never got to it. I had a lot to read that month, and this kind of got put on back burner. I did start rereading this series for the first time ever this year, and I absolutely loved the nostalgia of it all. I really do feel like, if anything, Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets is going to be a very Christmassy feel in certain aspects. Obviously, we do have Christmas in this story, and I just feel like it's going to be nostalgic and warm, unlike almost all the other books that I'm going to try to read this month. And the cool thing about this is actually that G is going to be hosting another part of her magical readathon this month. I'm not going to explain all that. I will try and link it down below just in case you want more information on her readathon and what's going to be going on, but this is sort of like in supplement to her main readathons, the Owls and the Newts. So I'm definitely going to be participating in that, and I figured that since I didn't get to read Chamber of Secrets during the Chamber of Secrets year for the Newts, I would do it for this little supplemental readathon that she's doing in December, because it is still Chamber of Secrets themed. So I think it'll be pretty fun. Do you want to hear another excuse? Okay, so Dark Dawn. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. I need to though. This is why it's on my TBR for this month, and hopefully I will get to it. I would feel wrong ending this year without finishing this trilogy. This is one of my all-time favorite trilogy, and I'm like a self-proclaimed super fan of them, so I don't know why I haven't read it yet. I keep saying that it's because I don't want it to end quite yet, and I know that it's going to make me cry, so I haven't read it because of those reasons, but I just don't feel like it's a very good reason. And I know, guys, I really want to read it this month, and if I do, I will definitely be making a dedicated reading vlog for this. I don't know if anyone wants to see it anymore because it's been so long, but it'll probably still be going up. So yeah, I definitely want to read Dark Dawn. I feel like I've talked about this series so much, so I'm just gonna give you a few keywords in case you haven't read the Nevernight Chronicles and you are interested in any of these things, then maybe you will be interested in these. A shadow cat companion that talks and is snarky. An assassin who is looking for revenge for her family. Assassin school. Steamy love, and not only the straight kind. A lot of cursing. So yeah, that's gonna be my little description of that. If you like any of those things, check out Nevernight Chronicles and J. Kristoff. And the last one, do you want to hear one more excuse? Well, here goes nothing. The Queen of Nothing. Yeah, it came out this month. I wanted to pick it up right away. I got distracted. I've been working a lot, guys. I've been working a lot, and whenever I work a lot, I tend to at least put a couple of things down. I tend to just ignore a lot of my other responsibilities, such as booktube and reading, and I am gonna try not to do that for the month of December. I'm going to try and video as much as possible and upload as much as possible, but we shall see. But my big focus, Queen of Nothing. I'm so excited to read this. I'm so excited. This is probably one of the only books on this whole list that I am truly like excited to jump into. That's not to say that I'm not excited about all the other ones, but I do feel more of like an obligation with the other ones. This one, I don't feel an obligation at all. It's just pure excitement. That made it sound like the other ones weren't pure excitement. They are still pure excitement, just mixed with obligation. So, you know, it makes it less fun. But this one is just pure excitement. I'm so excited to see how this ends. I have managed to avoid spoilers. I don't even know how. And I just can't wait to read this and then talk about it with my friends, especially Mika, because I know that she finished it super fast and has probably been dying to, well, she's probably talked about it with tons of other people. I shouldn't get a big head, but I'm excited to talk to her about it. Yeah, I'm tremendously excited. This is the finale of the Cruel Prince trilogy. I've loved the Cruel Prince trilogy ever since I read it for the first time. And ever since I read it for the first time, that sounds like I've read it a lot of times. I haven't. But I just am absolutely obsessed with this. I feel like the fan art that has been created for the series is absolutely phenomenal and even makes me more excited to read this. And I just want to be in the know and see what happens with Jude and Cardon. If you weren't already aware, this is kind of a booktube favorite, so you probably do know. But this follows Jude, who is a human in Elfheim, which is the fairy lands. And it's kind of her and Cardon, who is this cruel prince of fairy. And it's kind of like a hate to love, but it's not a hate to love. It's pretty cruel in the beginning. Just know that going in, it's going to be intense. This is really worth the payoff though, because it's not only a hate to love, it's a slow burn, which are kind of like my favorite kinds of hate to love. So I'm excited to see how this ends, because the last one ended on a huge cliffhanger, and I'm just appreciative to Holly for releasing both the second and the third book in the same year, but also 300 pages. It's not enough. Those are gonna be the 13 books that I want to read this month. Honestly, I have no idea if I'm gonna get to all of them. This is a very ambitious TBR, like I said in the beginning, and I just wanted to let you guys know what was going to be on my mind for the month. I may not finish any of them, I may finish all of them. Let's hold out hope for that second option. But yeah, don't forget to please leave down below any holiday inspired, maybe warm and cozy kind of novels. Don't have to be warm and cozy. I just want them to be kind of holiday themed, because obviously I'm kind of lacking that in this giant TBR. So I don't know if I'll get to them this month, but hopefully I can get to at least one of them. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.
Bye.